Hey guys, I'm Aaron.
I'm AJ.
And we're from modernintel.ca. Today we're going to be reviewing the Tippmann TPX pistol. We're going to go over things like the specs, material of the gun, pros and cons, what you can expect from shooting it, go over the specs and everything about the mag as well, and then give you a final verdict just to finish off the video. The gun's made out of like a composite plastic, mostly all of it. You got this little shroud at the front near the barrel. That's aluminum, but it's like only this little piece here. And then you got the aluminum barrel, of course. But again, most of all of it, the grip, the whole top, except for the shroud again, is all composite plastic. The mags themselves, they're actually just regular plastic. There's nothing special about them. There's nothing metal about them except for the spring, of course. But that's basically it. So all plastic mag.
So it comes with a tack rail on the bottom here. Of course, this one is different than the Tiberius T8. This one, you insert the CO2 on the bottom of the barrel here. Pretty much to do that, you just take out the plug, right? And it's kind of a turn, pull, turn, and pops right out. Tip first with the CO2. Once you have it in there, again, insert it, turn, push a little, and then turn again, and it'll lock it in there. And with this one, it's not gassed up. It's not, the CO2 is not punctured right away, so you have to really pull down on this the trigger just to get it to puncture. Safety is just above the trigger. The trigger itself it's aluminum, and it kind of looks plastic, but I think it's pointless. Like, it shouldn't be that. It should just be a normal plastic trigger.
The weight of the gun is, the gun with the mag in it is almost the exact same as a T8 or a T8.1 without a mag in it. So that gives you kind of an idea. The mags weigh something like 2.5 ounces, I think. So that doesn't matter. You can carry as many as you want, and you'll never be heavy. The gun itself, it uses A5 threads. That doesn't mean that you can put any A5 barrel in it. As you can see, there's a shroud in here, and the barrel in there is really tight in there. So you can't get the barrels that have any kind of shaping or porting in them, because if it shapes differently than just like a regular like barrel shaft, it won't fit. So you got to get one that's perfectly straight. Really, the ones that fit right are the ones made for the TPX. So it's kind of irrelevant that they work for A5, because you kind of have to get the ones that are made for it anyways. The accuracy of the gun it's nothing special. It's basically just what you'd expect from any A5 or something. It's fine. It's nothing special, nothing to boast against or about. But really, it's
mediocre.
Yeah,
it's a pistol.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy as far as that goes. When you get the gun, it comes with 2 mags, so that's a nice thing to have. The mags hold 8 rounds each.
Yeah.
The gun has a window on the top, just like the Tiberius line, and it's got 3 windows on the sides, so you can check how much ammo you have left at the end. I'm not sure how many people actually use them. I don't actually, but it's a good idea. It's a good thought. It's something that would be nice to see, actually, a full window going all the way down. But it's nice to see that they're on the right track. The tack rail on it, that's kind of cool to have it there, but it'd be nice to be able to take it off, because you're not going to use most things on that. Like, most people won't have a laser or something on there.
It's definitely not that type of pistol to have anything really on the bottom, but yeah, it's a part of the body of the gun. You cannot remove this, so you're stuck with it forever. Mm-hmm. You can run a remote line in the back, but the thing is, the plug where the remote line would go is it's one solid piece, so you have to screw into the body of the gun just to make a hole so you can put in a remote line, and then you get your adapter and throw it in there. A con with me is it's plastic. I think that's kind of ridiculous for the whole thing to be plastic. It might as well be made out of like ceramic or something stupid.
A pro with the gun, but it goes hand in hand with the quality. It's light, so it does tend to make a good secondary pistol. The mags are light, so you can carry as many as you want, but again, it's good for a secondary pistol, so you're only going to want to carry like 2 or 3. Nothing crazy.
I find that the puncture of the CO2, the hole that it makes is not a good hole. Yeah. Like, not enough CO2 comes out to make it an accurate, consistently accurate shot.
T8 and TPX. You see a difference.
Another pro with this gun would be the grip size. It's a little smaller than the Tiberius series because the Tiberius has to use the CO2s in the mag themselves. This one doesn't have that. It has a CO2 in the front. So you can get a smaller grip. So some people with smaller hands that have a problem with the T8s can use it. The CO2 in the front. This is kind of depending on what kind of gamer you are. The CO2 in the front kind of allows for certain types of gaming. If you're going to be using this as a primary, I wouldn't recommend it because when you charge this up, you're only going to get around 24 shots, just like any other pistol. After you use up the 24 shots, you got to take out the CO2 and put in a whole brand new one. Where if you were using a Tiberius series with the CO2s in the mags, you have 24 shots per mag. So if you run out of CO2 in a mag, you just take out the mag and you put in a new one, especially if you're in a big firefight. But if you were taking just this with some mags and you're in a big firefight getting shot at, and you run out of CO2, you're basically done for because you run out of CO2. You got to discharge and take everything out. And if the air is not all the way out of the CO2, you're not getting this out anyways.
Another con that I think is because this plunger is so loose, I find that you will be able to lose this quite easily if you are not playing with it or anything, or if it's just in your holster, it doesn't have a CO2 in it or anything. Just running around, this thing could jar and then pop right out. I find it really easy, and I think it's a con because once you lose that, this gun's useless, right? You have to buy a new one.
Yep. Another con with this, we shoot a mag in this. Every time we shoot a mag, we get a ball break. Every time, guaranteed. No matter what type of paint we're using, we're getting a ball break. We took apart this gun after probably
3 or 4 uses.
3 or 4 uses at some fields. The O-ring on the bolt was shredded, just totally destroyed. After 3 or 4 uses, like, it's well thought out, but at the same time, there's things on it that's, I think, really with this gun, because it's made, some people seem to think it's really good, but really, if it was made by any other company, just like a no-name, this would not get the attention it does. So you really, just because it's Tippmann doesn't give it to the permissions to kind of get a little loose on their some of their things, you know, just because it's got the
quality of
just because it's got the Tippmann name.
Yeah.
It's a first-gen gun, so some things are expected. There's always going to be problems, just like with any other pistol, there's problems. But I think there needs to be more work before it's can actually run beside Tiberius pistol. Because they've had time on the field, they've been out a lot longer than this pistol, and they've worked out the cons of their guns and perfected it.
Yeah.
This is just a first round, so there's going to be problems, and that's going to be expected.
Final verdict for me, couple points off for it being 90% plastic. Single CO2 on the top here, this being really loose, really easy to lose. I find the mag is very finicky. It sometimes gets stuck right here, like you really have to slam it in there. I give it a 6. It's a sidearm. That's all it can be used for. If there's anybody further than 50 feet, don't think about shooting them with it.
So for me, my final verdict, I would probably give it a 7. I like the fact that it's made just for a sidearm, just like that. Points off for the mags. I don't like the plastic mags. I would rather trade better quality and heavier mags for heavier. The plastic does nothing for me. I don't want them to break, and I don't like how they function, and taking them apart is a pain. The 90% plastic gun, I don't like that. I'd rather have a little bit heavier gun, and it built better. And really, it's just a first gen, so there's going to be things that are wrong with it that really can't, you know, you can't really do anything about. And the ball breaking it, like, if it doesn't shoot paint, then there's really no point of the gun. So I think that about does it with that. That's the TPX. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks for listening.